We start with our question number 1. Syngamy means fusion of gametes, fusion of cytoplasms, fusion of two similar spores, and lastly fusion of two dissimilar spores. So this is something very basic question. Answer A we will go with, that is fusion of gametes. Now question number 2 is, one of the following is essential for fertilization. So fertilization is where male and female gametes they fuse. Now here the options are corolla, calyx. Corolla and calyx are non-essential parts of a flower. As you are aware of, a flower has got two parts, essential parts and non-essential parts. In essential parts, also called reproductive parts, we have got androecium and gynoecium. Now androecium is represented by stamens and gynoecium is pistil or carpel as such, and carpel has got ovules. So here we will go with our option B, that is the correct option is mature ovule, because other three are really not mattering much in reproduction. We move to question number 3. Water is not required in the fertilization of Dropteris, Selaginella, Vallisneria and Pisum. Now if you examine the first three, that is Dropteris, Selaginella. Now Dropteris is a pteridophyte. Same is Selaginella also. And Vallisneria is an aquatic plant. So the only plant which is left is Pisum. Pisum is Pisum civum, very commonly known as garden pea. You will also study something similar in your genetics. So now here we go with our option D here. D means that we'll go with Pisum. Then we move to question number 4. External water is not required for the fertilization of pteridophytes, bryophytes, thallophytes and spermatophytes. Now this already was there in classification. As far as thallophytes are concerned, in this we get algae. Bryophytes are liverworts and mosses, and pteridophytes again a group of plants. So in the kingdom Plantae we have got these three divisions, followed by spermatophytes also, Thallophyta, Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, and all these three they need water for fertilization, external water. But when we go to spermatophytes, in which we find angiosperms and gymnosperms, now you find all around these trees, all around these plants on earth, which are not aquatic, rather they are static terrestrial plants. So we'll go with our option D, that is spermatophyta or spermatophytes. We move to question 5. Sexual reproduction in plant was discovered by Nowotny, Strasburger, Camirarius and Hofmeister. So here the correct option is, because you have to know it by name only, so I will not explain it on further on this. The correct option is C, that is Camirarius. So he was the one who came out with this description here. Then we move to our next question. Question number 6. What is double fertilization and triple fusion? This was a corollary. So these were discovered by, there are 4 options given here: Hofmeister, Nowotny and Guinard, Leeuwenhoek and Strasburger. So we go with our option B, very commonly known answer, Nowotny and Guinard. We move to question number 7. A very simple question. Famous embryologist of India who also advanced the science of morphology and tissue culture in India is P. Maheshwari, T.S. Sadasivan, Swaminathan, and Ramdas. Well, they are all very prominent figures otherwise. Swaminathan had a tremendous background in wheat research. Anyhow, our objective is limited here. So we'll go with our option A. That is P. Maheshwari. He was the one who really advocated or who really started with these experiments. So quite interesting. Then we move to our question number 8. Fusion product of two polar nuclei with a male gamete is secondary nucleus, vegetative zygote, primary endosperm, and nucleus. So if you examine carefully all these options, so here we find fusion product of two polar nuclei with a male gamete. So very simple answer then. It is called double fertilization. Because there are two types of fertilization which take place in plants. As you are aware of, two male gametes, and when they enter into the ovule, again ovule is 8 nuclei and 7-celled structure with 3 antipodal cells, 2 in the center, secondary nuclei, and then again we have got as such the egg, followed by, or on the both sides, the synergids. It has also got apparatus which is called filiform apparatus. So here we go with our option D. So double fertilization. One fertilization is with the ovule, with the egg and the sperm, leading to formation of seed. And second is the second male gamete fuses 2 secondary nuclei. So thus leading to triploid endosperm, which is very important for subsequent providing growth to the growing seed. So D is the correct option. We move to question number 9. Chromosome number in a flowering plant can be haploid, diploid, and polyploid. It can be haploid and diploid. It can be only diploid, or it can be only haploid. So we go with option A, because haploid, diploid. Well, you may refer to your notes on polyploidy also, or just see my notes on the net. Because wheat, if we see, is a highly developed polyploid plant. Anyhow, so A is the correct option, because other two options, the correct, all the answers which are there, or all the parameters which are discussed are there in A. So the correct answer for question 9 is A. Now triple fusion in capsella or angiosperms is effected by fusion of a male gamete with. Now very simple. In the center, as we have just discussed in the previous question, there are 2 secondary nuclei. In the double fertilization, this leads to formation of endosperm. So this is called triple fusion, and the structure formed is a triploid endosperm. So D is the correct option. Then we move to question number 11. An anther contains, here you may like to refer to you the figure of an anther. It has got 4 microsporangia, 3 microsporangia, 2 microsporangia, and 1 microsporangium. So the correct option is E, that is 4 microsporangia. Then we move to our next question. Meiosis occurs in A. endosperm cells, intercalary meristems, apical meristem, and spore mother cell. So here meiosis takes place in the spore mother cell, and in this meiosis all these 4 haploid gametes are formed. It may be microspore or megaspore, as the case may be. So the correct option would be D, spore mother cell. Question number 13. Microspore mother cell forms A. microsporangium, pollen sac, pollen grains, and male gametes. Simple question from your book. microsporangium forms male gametes. Because in the microsporangium we find after meiosis, haploid structures are formed which lead to the formation of two male gametes. Then we move to our 14th question. Porogamy is entry of pollen tube through. So here we find four options: A. chalaza, B. funicle, C. micropyle, and D is the raphe as such. So if you see the structure of embryo sac, we find that all the three possibilities are there. It can be through chalaza, it can be through integuments also, or maybe through micropyle. But since it is the porogamy which is asked for, so the correct answer will be micropyle. So this micropyle is there for porogamy. But if it is through chalaza, then it is called chalazogamy as such. Then we move to our question number 15. Male gametophyte of angiosperms or monocots is microsporangium, nucellus, microspore, stamen. So nucellus, of course, I have said. So the question 15, the answer is male gametophyte of angiosperm. Yes, it is microspore. So simple. Because microspore subsequently is going to give rise to the pollen tube as such, and male gametophyte you can say which subsequently goes for fertilization as such. We move to our next question. Question number 16. Sporogenesis is development and formation of spores, production of microspores, production of meiospores, and formation of zygote and embryo. Very simple answer. Sporogenesis means the formation of spores. It may be megaspores or microspores as such. So we go with this option here. We move to our next question. So the correct answer for question number 16 is A. Then question 17. Endosperm of angiosperms is produced after fertilization of a male gamete with antipodal cells. Then comes synergids, secondary nuclei, and then oosphere. So here endosperm is formed by the fusion of male gamete with the secondary nuclei. So here we simply go with option C, that is secondary nuclei. It is written over there as secondary nucleus because of similar, but there are two nuclei always, so that's why I'm saying secondary nuclei. In all, as you are aware of, there are 8 cells, 3 antipodals, 2 these nuclei, and 1 oosphere, followed by or around 2 synergids. We move to question 18. A diploid female plant and a tetraploid male plant are crossed. So be careful in the question itself, students. Diploid female plant means 2N, and a tetraploid male plant means 4N condition. Anyway, we'll see what the question is. Now the ploidy of endosperm shall be. So very tricky sort of a situation because 2 types of fertilization takes place here. One is formation of seed and second is for the formation of endosperm. And when we go for endosperm, it is fusion of 2 polar nuclei with a male gamete. So male gamete is 1N. Polar nuclei will give you again here single polar nuclei will give you 2N because the female plant is diploid female plant and a tetraploid male plant. Correction. So diploid female plant. So it means there are 2 N conditions in the because of polar nuclei, and male plant is supplying 2N condition through male gametes because it is tetraploid. So tetraploid will be half in meiosis, so it is 2n. So diploid female plant, 1n 1n makes it 2. Tetraploid male plant, 2n. So 2n plus 1n plus 1n makes it 4n. So let us see the question now. A diploid female plant and a tetraploid male plant are crossed. The ploidy of endosperm is asked here. So if seed is there, then it of course it will be triploid. But for endosperm, the condition has to be tetraploid. So let us search for tetraploidy here. Yeah, it is there. So it is option A for which we should go. I move to question number 19. Polygonum type of embryo sac is monosporic, 8 nucleate, monosporic, 4 nucleate, bisporic, 8 nucleate, and lastly tetrasporic, 8 nucleate. Now here simple option is A, that is monosporic, 8 nucleate. But students, you must examine other 3 answers also. They are equally important. That in which plants we have got this condition, monosporic with 4 nucleate, then bisporic nucleate, and tetrasporic 8 nucleate. Anyhow, that we'll discuss somewhere else, or you can always refer to my notes. Then we move to question number 20th. Chalazogamy occurs in Casuarina, Cucurbita, Lily, and Pisum. So if you see this question, answer is quite simple. It will go with option A, that is Casuarina. So now what is chalazogamy? Otherwise, I'll just give you a small narrative here. A process of fertilization in which the pollen tube penetrates to the embryo sac through the tissue of chalaza. So it's very important here that chalazogamy, otherwise other gametes are chalazogamy may be there, that it may be mesogamy, or it can be porogamy. So there are 3 types, 3 possibilities that how this the pollen tube which is formed is going to enter. It may be through integuments, it may be through micropyle, or it may be through chalaza. So if it is through micropyle, we'll call it porogamy. And if it is through integuments, we call it mesogamy. But if it is through chalaza, we call it chalazogamy. So chalazogamy is the correct option here. So here the entry of pollen tube into the ovule from chalazal region is known as chalazogamy. So with 20th question, let me examine question again. So question asked was chalazogamy occurs in. So here correct answer is E, that is Casuarina.